Remy Ma wanted to tarnish her husband's reputation, so she did 4 things, but Papoose had the last laugh. Remy accused Papoose of staying with her for 6 years during her incarceration because he craved fame, even boldly accusing him of being involved in her arrest. In response, Papoose was angry, stating that Remy was simply creating a false story to defend her infidelity. In fact, as early as 2022, Remy Ma had cheated multiple times, including having an intimate relationship with Easy the Block Captain. Additionally, she publicly used her maiden name at the time and appeared with Easy in public on several occasions, which led to the complete breakdown of their marriage and eventually resulted in separation. Now Remy, trying to portray herself as the victim, once again accused Papoose's new girlfriend, Claressa Shields, of spreading negative rumors about her online in an attempt to tarnish her image. Remy asked Papoose to clear up these false accusations, but he chose to remain silent. So Remy decided to take matters into her own hands, publicly sharing private text messages between Claressa and Papoose, vowing to seek justice for herself. Papoose responded by stating that Remy, despite knowing she repeatedly cheated, continued to cause chaos on social media. He also mentioned that he had repeatedly asked for a divorce, but Remy kept refusing to separate. Who do you think is in the wrong between the two of them?
You know, I look at this picture, right? And, I feel a certain way about it and shit, okay? I feel a certain way. This picture encapsulates the bullshit that, the man on the left has been going through for quite some time and shit, okay? He's going through quite some time. It's through no fault of his own and shit other than, him being, a simp, okay? I hate to say that, but this guy is into masculine women, women that have, the ego and attitude and the drive of a man. Okay, nothing wrong with that and shit. Not judging, but I'm saying, he didn't instill proper balance, boundaries in his relationship with this woman, and the result of it is that he had to endure emotional abuse and torture on a scale unimagined by people outside of our sphere, outside of, a lot of guys know this and shit, but in our community, this is a part of it, okay? This is a part of the black male experiences. It involves toxic gaslighting and narcissism and shit. It really sucks, man. I was heartened to see that he had recently started calling his wife a narcissist in open public. I didn't think he gave a shit. The only thing it takes away from that is he's with another woman that could easily fit that description. All right? He has a type. All right? Nobody's judging, but you need to set boundaries and shit. And the shit you would have to do to set boundaries with an extremely masculine woman. It's, certain content creator, he says the juice is not worth the squeeze. All right? And I'm quoting BGS here more. Just for clarity and shit. I don't want nobody accusing me of stealing, quotes and shit. I think it's so bitchy, feminine. But look, today I want to talk about how you need to, you really do need to keep your head on the swivel at all times and shit, okay? You really do, all right? Because you could end up in a situation like this. They're sometimes referred to as a third party. Involuntarily or not. Okay, most times, while you're out on your grind and shit, you leave a female, you're fully taking care of a woman, especially in our community. They are doing all kinds of shady stuff under the table. A majority of women are doing a lot of shady stuff, fucking up your money, entertaining other men and shit, and just doing crazy shit. In popular society, when the man confronts a woman, they usually say, get defensive, uber defensive, and tell him he's controlling and shit. I was like, what is the dynamic of our relationship if I'm providing everything and shit? You guys say you want providers and this and that and other, and you want to have a soft life and shit, but you don't understand or you don't want to accept what comes with that and shit, okay? And a lot of guys, even if they never had this kind of thought in their head, in their life, when you get out there in the real world and you start grinding and everything, and you're going to come home to some peace. You want to come home to a place, that is your peace, and enjoy that with the woman that's in there, Or at least that's what it used to be. Now that's a bad faith deal, in modern times and shit. You really can't trust these women and shit. And you have to vet their ass constantly. Okay, they making it. It's kind of middle of the road now, you know. And I want to say some stuff you can do to vet a person, but I won't do it here and shit because you know, we're on a certain platform that caters for the malfeasant, narcissistic behavior. Shit is exhibited by a large number of women in our ethnic group. Right? Papoose has been and is a simp. Okay, I don't know how to work out with his current girlfriend. I think it's Clarissa Shields or whatever. He's dating a boxer. Okay, like an Olympic gold medalist, an accomplished boxer. Okay, and I don't think he has to worry about Remy Ma running up on him. You know, I don't think she'll do that right now. She's in the last phases of her whole stage. You know, it's that phase of a lot of women that's about to hit the wall. They crash out sexually and shit. They just all out there just doing the most and shit, just kind of defiling themselves. I'm not complaining and shit. You know, I'm an elder statesman in this community and shit. This is where a lot of us, you know, brothers come in, you know, less discerning brothers come in with that sexual snow shovel and shovel that shit up and shit. You know, send them home, do the walk of shame. No shame here, okay? No shame here. You know, the reason I make the commentary is because a lot of us have grown up without proper guidance, okay? Without proper guidance from a man on how to move about in the world and how to conduct ourselves properly. You got a lot of men out there who were raised by women. Some of these guys are my age and older and shit. And it's just a legacy of non-compliance and shit. No training, no guidance. So you got generations upon generations of, you know, uninformed, uneducated, socially speaking, interpersonally and sexually, men out there. Shit, women have always and will always educate one another positively or negatively and shit. Okay, they you know, growing up in a, you know, matriarchal household that was once a nuclear household, there was a lot of times that I would walk into, you know, a room and be ushered quickly out of the room because they were having some kind of conversation, a hushed conversation. Or sometimes I would hear my mother yelling at one of my older siblings, yelling some shit out, you know, that a man shouldn't hear. And you think about it and shit, you know, when I get older and shit, you know, you see your siblings exhibiting those same traits of like keeping it under the hood, and you just start feeling it and shit. They start, you know, sticking you with it, you know. I'm not gonna go any further on that, but I want to say, as you look at the picture here, you notice that the asshole in the middle, the guy that was the subject of much controversy a little while ago and shit, he seems to have fallen off. You know, most of the people are just relegating him to being a fucked off stunt double of the actual original, which is Papoose here. You know, you notice she cheated on him with a guy that looks like a weaker, lesser version of him. That is a red flag of malignant, narcissistic, alleged feminism and shit, you know? Even if you look at the last election cycle, you saw Kamala Harris pick, I think his name's Tim Walz and whatnot. She picked a older guy, you know? She picked an older guy who was really actually going to be the shadow president because she was not fit for the job, just to be honest. You know, my own opinion. They want a lesser guy. They would pick that old guy that's out of their prime and shit, or they, you know, they pick somebody that looks like a boy. You know, somebody that has the mentality of a boy. You notice that in these single-parent households, regardless of what the man looks like on the outside, he has the mentality of a toddler and shit. The man, you know, he has a mentality of a toddler. He can't do anything without her direction. Okay. Now, I don't feel this was the way for Papoose. I feel like he truly loved this woman, but it was also his kryptonite shit. You know, if they weren't, you know, celebrities, I think that his life would be in danger. You know, your life is in danger with a woman like this and shit because they have multiple third parties, indiscretions, and they are dragging you through the mud, whether you're there physically or not and shit. It's just disgusting, you know. They are not an open book. There's no true intimacy with women like this. Okay? I'm talking about specifically the malignant female narcissist and shit, okay? Because they don't have to do much to destroy your world. They don't have to do much to hold you down, 10 toes down. All she had to do was keep her legs closed, okay? She could have kept her fucking legs closed and filed a proper divorce and moved on. Okay, whatever the guy was or whoever the guy was, she didn't do that. She wanted to have her cake and eat it too. They have a sense of entitlement there. We don't, it comes from God knows where and shit. And I know that it went mainstream, toxically nuclear. It went nuclear mainstream in the mid '80s, right? As far as what it is today, today's version. Okay, it went mainstream in the early '80s and shit. I'm in my fucking 50s. I'm an elder statesman of this supposed ethnic community chronologically. And I can attest to you that this shit started going mainstream with the talk show revolution. All right? And getting back here, man, if you want to be with somebody like Remy Ma, you have to be willing to do things that you wouldn't normally think to do and shit. You have to impose boundaries, strict boundaries on her. And she has to be policed and managed and shit. Okay? She has to be handled. Alright? You have to continuously look over your shoulder. You have to check her social media and shit. You have to check her phone and shit. Who wants to live a life like that? Alright, for her, he kept her, he held her down. He visited her almost every day while she was incarcerated. He put money on her books. He took care of her child by another man, and he had to lobby for her to give him his own child from her. Okay, he held it out. He let her dress in a provocative manner when he's a very basic gentleman and shit. He's a stand-up guy and shit, but he had a woman just dressed like a 304. Okay, it doesn't seem like he was flossing. I don't see him smiling in any of those pictures where she ain't got no fucking clothes on and shit, basically. Okay, she's no great shakes. Okay, at the best she could say she barely struggles to be a 5 and shit pre-plastic surgery. After plastic surgery, she's still a fucking 5, but she could go to Pound Town and shit. Okay, she could go to Pound Town and shit. I don't know who would want to do that. I really wouldn't want to follow, be inside, somebody like this and shit, knowing where she could have been. And her whole deal with going to prison, threatening a woman, pistol violence and shit, weapon violence when she's a celebrity already. I'm like, is it that serious and shit? I recall back in the fucking 90s, Selena got killed when she went to collect on some money that was being pilfered and shit. Instead of just filing proper police report lawsuit, she went to confront this woman and was murdered. All right? This is the world you live in and shit. You want to deal with these women with this masculine aspect, these attitudes and shit. You have to be willing to set boundaries. You tell her right up front, say, hey, cheating is a deal breaker and third parties is a deal breaker and shit. Okay? And don't worry, I'm always looking over your shoulder. And she tells you, and she gets hyper defensive. That's a sign of a narcissist. That's a red flag. When she get overly defensive and starts using buzzwords like controlling and shit, you just tell her, yes, I do what I have to do. I do what I feel is necessary and whatnot. If you don't like it, we can dissolve this relationship. I wouldn't advise anyone to say that to a masculine woman with this woman's attitude and shit. Okay, when she fuck up, when you find out that somebody like Remy Ma is fucking up on you, you just get the fuck out. You go scorched earth. I'm a fan of adopting, shit that, these sisters be doing when they pissed off at somebody cheating on them and shit. If you find out where she going to the motel or something to meet up with her stunt double guy that's easy to block chin motherfucker, just for, she probably, I believe personally that she has cheated on him multiple times in this relationship. That's just my personal feeling. That's what the inclination I get from listening to her speak and looking at her social media posts. But I'm a fan of, like, if you know where the chick is, that she's going to hook up with a guy, that you show up there with her kid that's not your kid and drop that kid off there. Drop that kid off, get in a bag of goodies, and she go take that kid to a McDonald's drive-thru, get him a little Happy Meal, and drop him at the hotel. Go run up in that bitch. He got money. Just pay for a room, and just go up to the room, knock on the door, and just tell the kid, hey, don't worry, your mom's in here. And when she open that door, you get the shock of her life and shit. And then take your motherfucking kid, and only take your kid if you signed the birth certificate. Okay? A lot of these women, they do this grimy thing where, when they have your kid, if it actually is your kid, They put father unknown on the fucking birth certificate so that they can have control over the child like a weapon. The kid is not a kid to them. They don't see the kid as a kid. The kid is just a tool. Okay, they put fathers unknown. You confront them about it, and they say, "Well, you wasn't around and shit." Like, well, I was grinding. I was, elsewhere and shit. I was unable to be here because I was trying to make money and try to build a fucking life for us and shit. And you decided that you wanted to do what you want to do and shit, and that all makes sense. Getting back on topic. Getting back on topic and shit. Yeah, you go scorch earth with nuclear, especially masculine women like this and shit. I'm telling you, she's only good for Pound Town. All right, I've been with a ton of masculine women. I'm not ashamed to say. All right, I'm an older guy. I'm just a regular person and shit. I don't present myself as any paragon of virtue or an expert. I just share my experience with you because I think that by doing that, it will help you make an informed decision about, how you want to manage things in your own life and shit. And that's really what it's all about. All right, this is, basically what I'm doing right now is just simply an op-ed, for this situation, okay? Because it's a slow news cycle. We see this bullshit. All right, don't you take a look at this picture again. You have Papoose, you have Remy Ma, then you have Easy the Blockchain in the middle and shit. Who the fuck is responsible for this? Why does, after doing all the things that Papoose did and held on there down and loving her and making her the center of his fucking life, why does he deserve to have an Easy the Blockchain, in his space, Why does she feel the need to bring a motherfucker in his space? Because she knows that she ain't shit, okay? She knows she ain't shit. And this is a way of, moving, doing what she want to do with a lesser version of him. A version of him that she can control or whatever. Because this guy kept it 10 toes down and she hates him for that. He was supposed to abandon her and fuck some bunch of bitches while she was in there so she could get out and be mad and make some battle rap shit or something. Who the fuck cares? He supported her in everything she did, her endeavors. He begged her for a child. She relented and gave him the baby he wanted. He probably regrets that now. And he took care of her kid from somebody else's shit. And what is his fucking reward for that? What is his reward? Alright? Lady of the Tiger, right? Look, Kings, it's real simple shit. You do not do business with people that spit in your face. There must be checks and balances and nuclear consequences because the women have a sense of entitlement that's astounding. Okay, they have a sense of entitlement. Nothing's going to change until you start being honest with yourself and telling the truth to these people and living your best life because they're doing that shit too. And look what it's done to our community. Look what it's done. Then look at this fucking picture again, okay? Look at this picture. Why does that motherfucker have to be in the middle in that little circle and shit, okay? Remy Ma brought this nigga in and forced him into their spirit and shit, This is what she wants and shit. She wants the nigga in the picture to be the motherfucker on the left, alright? Because she can't handle being with Papoose and shit, okay? When she look at him, she knows she ain't shit. Right? When she look at him, he is everything that she knows she don't deserve because of who she is. Right? It's this motherfucker she picked right here. He don't, he's easier to manage. Okay? He's a more palatable version of what she actually wants and whatnot. I think she wants a weak man that she can dominate, who will let her do what she pleases and shit. I think I'm done here, shit, okay? I'm done with this video, but it's gonna pop up again, probably some more shit on the subject matter if I feel the need to do so. I'm not shitting on women. I'm shitting on misandrous. I'm totally about defunding toxic black female misandry in the extreme this shit because they've been shitting on us for a minute and telling us that we're the reason the community is in the toilet and shit. Alright? Why big up in everything they do and shit. None of that shit has anything to do. None of that shit does anything positive for their own ethnic community and shit. And they seek to eject themselves out of that bitch and shit. Okay, Remy Ma not so much. She likes to hear. She likes being in the petri dish with the Tupperware lid on it and shit. It's her element and shit. But she just can't have Papoose there. Okay, she can't have him there. And she's butthurt today, you know, at the tail end of 2024 because he's moved on with another masculine woman that she cannot physically stand up to without a weapon. Yeah, go figure, right? What a fucking hypocrite and shit. You big L. Big fucking L. Alright? Man, you know, please, you know, you have your proclivities, your fetishes that no one's judging you for that shit if it's not a crime and shit. You know, not judging, okay? But you need to be able to handle your shit, okay? You need to be able to control your shit because it's gonna end up like a fucking Frankenstein movie and shit. It's like the monster gets out, kills a bunch of people, and the villagers chase that bitch and throw fire and burn. You know, the fucking Frankenstein dies, and the motherfucker that's in the room with him dies too and shit. That's Papoose with his Frankenstein Remy Ma shit. He put too much on her. He threw too much pearls before that swine and shit. And now the villagers here in the form of social media. She's getting dragged all over social media for being a goddamn hypocrite by the same black women. I would suspect that this has something to do with the current, the incoming environment. You know, the way society is leaning and shit going into 2025. All right, please, please, kings. Yeah, you take your shit to the heart because I'm not even gonna do those 3 points and shit. Okay, you take this to heart. Please, kings, do not be a fan of your bitch.
Picture sugar-free, a crash dummy. I ain't the smartest motherfucker in the world, but you just another bitch that need gas money. And this is some news you can use. Bitch, a million motherfuckers wanna be in my shoes. Bitch, I'm a legend in these streets. The better kind. How many of y'all niggas know where y'all bitch at right now? Never mind. Believe everything that bitch tell you, huh? Don't lie to splurge. Boyfriend, pimpin', nigga, shit, what is it? Mine or hers? Mobe then. Your average nigga break his neck to go to your house. Have I ever been there? Okay then. What I'ma give a bitch a pass for? Spent all that time in school and got a job that ain't got nothing to do with you with your class for. Here goes some real sugar-free toughener. If the bitch got a gang of play cousins and play brothers, they fucking her. Sugar-free to pee. Look like the game hurt. If the bitch got 2 or 3 phones, she either a hoe or a brain surgeon. How to write the book, motherfucker. I just read what was in the motherfucker.